Hello, everyone. I'm Rachel, and this is Musical Artists, A Conversation. On today's podcast episode, we have Kacie Brown joining us today. Welcome to the limelight. Kacie Brown is a versatile singer-songwriter based in Chicago with a musical style ranging from neo-soul, pop, and funk. Today, we'll be talking about her background in music, her experience with Chicago venues and the local scene, and how her band Kacie Brown and the Vision came to be. Hello, Kacie. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you for having me
Yeah,
here.
thank you for coming. I'm very excited to get into this. First, I just wanted to ask you about your background in music and how you got into music.
Well, I don't know. I feel like I've been singing ever since I was a little child. I guess my mom always says that my aunt could notice, at least when I was like 2 or 3, that I would always sing and it sounded okay, I assume. That she was like, this girl can sing, like you should do something about that. But I would say I was just always like musical as a child, and I guess growing up around 3rd grade is when I had like my first ever like vocal lesson, and then I've never stopped singing since.
Is anyone else in your family like involved in music at all, or is that just something that you picked up?
It's actually unique to me also just because I'm adopted, and my parents didn't adopt me. Well, they adopted me when I was a child, so like, or a baby, so I don't really know my birth parents, but so out of everyone in my family, I am the only one that can sing well. There's people that try to sing, but...
And are they like pretty involved in what you're doing right now with music?
They're very supportive.
That's good.
Yes, ever since I moved to Chicago for college, they've always been my number one supporters.
So where are you from originally?
I'm from Buffalo, New York.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So yeah, so I grew up there in like a town outside of it called Lancaster.
Yeah. So why'd you choose Chicago and specifically Columbia to go to?
Columbia because I knew I wanted to do music, and it's a school for creatives. There's a lot of music programs that I feel are kind of catered to either not creativity, more just like doing covers, which we've done at Columbia, but also a specific genre that's not as contemporary. So that's kind of why I wanted to go for music, just to grow as an artist. Because my whole time in Lancaster, I kind of did either like musical theater covers or like art songs or like opera stuff, but never anything that's more original based outside of like my private lessons. So I wanted to explore on like writing and being an actual artist. And another reason I came is because I do have family out here locally, like my cousins that I'm very close to on my mom's side. They moved there for their like upper level college life and stuff, so I knew I'd have some people there that can help me out, so that's another reason kind of why I moved here.
How has your experience being in Chicago and specifically this art school been? Like, what have you learned? Any pros and cons?
Yeah, I graduated in 2023. I came back for my master's, but under my undergrad, I feel like I had the most enjoyable time and learned a lot about myself, because I used to be really shy, and I still am, and I feel like it allowed me an outlet to kind of grow. And I learned so much about being an artist in a way, just being able to connect with other people that all have like similar hobbies or interests was really nice, and just finding a field to grow, like I said. That's kind of what I got out of it.
And I know that you made a band called The Vision, Kacie Brown and The Vision.
Yes.
All of them are also Columbia students, right?
Yes.
Or were Columbia students?
Yes.
So what was the process of making that and meeting those people?
It was kind of a long history of like rotation of band members, because everyone that either was in it originally, we've met through one of our ensembles, so it's all music students actually too. But really what shaped it is Biggest Mouth 2023. I was in a band before that, and some stuff happened and it broke up. It was really kind of dramatic, but out of that I kind of figured out that it was probably best for me to just form my own band with my own identity, and a few of my members that were in the other one came with me to start this project, and we kind of just been building our sound and our people throughout that. Yeah.
I was going to ask about Biggest Mouth, because we were both there. I remember like you guys performing at the Metro. Yeah, it was at the Metro. Yeah, so how was like that whole experience?
It was a whirlwind, just because that week was like the biggest week of my life, it felt like, because I had Biggest Mouth, and then the day after I had my senior recital, which is something I've been planning for weeks too. So those were 2 big shows back to back. But it was so cool to be on a stage that big And we opened, which was also very nerve-wracking. At least we got a sound check so we could get a little feel for the space. But it was so nerve-wracking because there was a lot of people there. It was probably one of the biggest performances I've had to date. But the energy was so fun, and it was nice because I saw a lot of my family or my friends in the audience. That made it easier. And I don't know, I feel like because of the energy of having all those people in the crowd, I feel like that energy allowed me to like kind of let go and allowed my band to let go. So it was a very enjoyable experience.
Would you say that having that energy from performing live on stage with other people and to other people is like one of the reasons why you started doing music? Or did you start music primarily for yourself?
I think it's a mix of both. That might be a cheat answer, but I feel like it started at just for myself, just to open myself out to the possibility. Because before I went to Columbia, I didn't even really process that, I could be in a band and work with instrumentalists and collaborate with people. It was mostly just like, I don't know, I guess my original goal was just, I'm just going to sing or whatever. But I feel like it's turned into like the energy of working with others closely, because that's how I connect. It's how everyone connects. But for me, it's just like very special when you can share something you love with other people, especially people that you're friends with.
Right.
So that's kind of, I feel like, has been my driving force lately. Yeah. It's just my friendship with my bandmates.
Yeah. So having that relationship with them, what do you think that you've learned, and how have you changed as a musical artist from being in that band and collaborating with everyone else?
Okay. I'd say what I've learned is just leadership in a way. And leadership isn't, I don't know, it's about not being afraid to state your opinions and knowing, especially when you have a safe space with people, it's easy to like kind of collaborate and bounce off ideas with each other. So I feel like I learned a lot about leadership in that way. And also I learned to be, I would say, a better listener in a way, musically, and just also just as a person. But musically, I'll say the sensitivity of like understanding the other instruments or whatever has been something that I feel has made me a better musician, because my primary instrument is my voice. And I've, tried to pick up instruments here and there, but I never stuck with them. So like being able to see and learn from the other bandmates that have like these different perspectives when it comes to music, I feel like opened up a great, sense of knowing within myself. And
I know you've said that your music is primarily about, I guess, your own like intimate struggles, and they're very self-analytical. And so what is that like when you have to bring that to the table with a team?
Oh, it could be really awkward. The first song I ever released, Flaws, and this was like, I worked on this song with a prior band I was in, but the message of the song is literally about embracing, like, I don't know, the things that you don't really feel like you accept about yourself, whether that be like your body type or like your curves, or like having fat in weird places, or having like cellulite. And I wrote that song about not being comfortable in my own skin. And I feel like that was the hardest thing to ever do, because it was something I still struggle to with this day. So like sharing it with people, I was very timid, but I knew it was kind of the right thing to do, because I knew I wanted to get that song out there. And it was like a song where it's like I didn't think about it. It was just like I had these chords, and like all the lyrics just came together. Like I sang, and the lyrics and the words, it all just came out together. So I knew it was something I needed to share with other people, although it was very awkward. But then it turned into a song that a lot of, people have told me they do resonate with. So it turned out well. But I would say it can be really awkward, because I am a very insecure artist, especially when it comes to my lyrics and bearing my soul. So even still in rehearsal, sometimes the guys, okay, don't adjust the lyrics, or guys, please. Sorry, it sounds like this, blah, blah, blah. It's not, you guys haven't played on it yet, blah, blah, blah. I'm always like, and they're always sweet and nice, and a lot of them give me great feedback, or just like believe in me. So it helps me feel a little less inside my head, but I always will be in my head, though.
I wanted to ask, actually, like, what was and still is, your experience with like receiving feedback from other people about such vulnerable lyrics and everything. How has that resonated with people, and how's that resonated with you?
Yeah, there was this one person that told me that one of my songs like helped them with their like body dysmorphia, which like I'm like very grateful, and that's like amazing. But I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of like, what, like me, like what, this song, like this stupid song, because although like I love this song. I don't know. I've performed it for a while, so it's like, okay, I've sung this a billion times. I'm getting so bored of it. But the fact that people still come to me and like can resonate with it makes me feel happy. But yeah.
That was really cool. And obviously you've not only played at the Metro, but a bunch of different venues as well. Yeah. And you're reaching other audiences. So I guess what are your thoughts on that? I mean, you just said you're performing the same song, so it can be a little boring. But does changing venues and, you know, doing different things in Chicago help with that at all? Or?
I think so. I think because I feel like every show is going to be unique, but I had this one experience recently last week. I played a So Far show, and So Far is like this little organization, well, not little, big organization. They do a bunch of like cool shows they put on for artists, independent artists specifically, and then the Chicago chapter is where I did mine. And the whole like concept of So Far is that they get people to like purchase tickets, but they have no idea who's playing, and they don't even know where the location's going to be until like 48 hours or something. So I had one of these last week, and the good thing about this show is like people are like genuinely there to see artists, because I feel like some venues I played, it's been like, oh, we're just like background music at a bar or whatever, which I still like love singing, so I'm not going to complain, but these people like actually are dedicated to like listen to new artists. It wasn't even like, there's 6 people in my band including myself. We only had 4 of us this time because people had like conflicting things, but the thing was So Far they're supposed to be more intimate, and like I said, people are there to hear the music, and like it was just a nice vibe because it's like the sound was really good. We have Miles playing keyboard, we have my friend Chris, who's also in my band, playing electric guitar, and then my other band member, Samara, who actually usually plays bass in my band. They're actually a guitarist primarily, and they were just playing bass because I needed a bass player, and we've stuck with them since. But they were playing acoustic guitar and going between acoustic guitar and like percussion stuff, like shakers, and then the Calhoun, I think that's what you call it. I don't know. Sorry, I'm a fake instrumentalist. But they were playing a bunch of percussion stuff, and in between songs they'd switch between acoustic guitar and playing like shaker and all this cool stuff. And it was like a new like version of hearing my band, because it's not like overpowered by all these instruments and like screaming over a bunch of people at a bar or screaming over my band. And it was just a really nice intimate venue where it's like people were there to hear us, and it guided me to have a new perspective on a show and like have energy to perform like maybe old songs, because you get to sing it a different way than you would before.
That's really cool, actually. I've never heard of So Far, which I feel like I would have heard of because I love going to shows, so I'll probably look at that. But I guess like well, you know what?
But it's worth it.
I know, it's the experience,
and
I guess.
It's like a little date night for people.
It sounds so nice,
It was fun.
Other than, I guess, playing at different venues, what are other ways that you stay motivated with your band or kind of revitalize the energy?
I stay motivated because I refuse to give up on these people. I'm like, bro, we're going to have these. I like try to make us stay booked and busy so they have motivation too, because I have motivation, but I need them to have motivation too. Like, it's like, to me, like, it's my project or whatever, but they really add a lot to it. So it's like, I need them there because, so I try to get us a lot of shows, or at least opportunities to rehearse, or just, even if it's like a free show or just like a house show, like I just feel like it's beneficial for us. Another thing I do is like, we're recording music right now. So I've been having them record a lot of songs with me lately. So I feel like that keeps us motivated. And just, I try to have like goals and plans, I don't know, outside of just like Chicago stuff, just to keep us like up and at it.
Are you the one just doing mostly the booking and the managing?
I'm basically the band leader and the manager. Because everyone else is just like there for me. They're like, they just have to play essentially, and obviously give incredible performances and help with my writing stuff, but it's all based on like my scheduling. So I am the band leader.
So how have you, like, I guess, learned about the world of scheduling yourself, promoting yourself, networking?
It is so hard. I'm still learning it. I'm like just growing up into it, I feel like, but it's a lot, especially like scheduling in general, even if not even for booking, but just scheduling 5 different people, 6 including myself, that have totally different schedules, because a lot of these people are in multiple bands. Some of them are in bands you guys have interviewed already.
Yes.
Nicole and Brown. Miles, Steven, and Will are all...
they're busy.
Yes.
Right,
So, they're busy people, but that's because they're awesome. But where was I going with this? that just, I don't know, it could be a challenge sometimes. I get hard on myself, but I have some close friends that are in similar perspectives where like they're the band leader of their band, so I lean on them for support and lean on each other. But when it comes to booking shows, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of it is really luck. I do reach out to a lot of venues, but I'm also very blessed that either like some friends that either it's a show they organize or like, hey Casey, can you jump on this bill with us?
Yeah.
Like, yes, I always say yes.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like also just building a community with people. So it's like luck from like other people being like very nice and like, hey, you should be a part of this, or just like me reaching out to venues. Like I'll just email, like there was one day I emailed a bunch of venues and like, hey, blah blah blah, introducing myself and just doing that stuff. But there's so much work that goes into it, because sometimes you need certain like promotional materials to get out to people, and it can be a lot, especially when you're the only one paying for it and investing your time in it. But it's worth it to me, so I'm not gonna complain. But yeah, there's just a lot of moving parts.
Yeah. Have you met people, since you've been networking a lot, outside of Columbia, like that have helped you through this process?
I'm not gonna lie, I feel like a lot of my Columbia people have helped me, but also I have met a few others outside, whether it just be like, I try to be active because there's a lot of sources I feel like that are useful for musicians and artists in the Chicago scene. Like sometimes just social media, honestly, like I feel like an old grandma, but Facebook is that's my girl. There's a lot of like little Facebook groups dedicated to like the Chicago music scene, and I try to get active in that just to reach out to new bands, because I do play a lot of shows with Columbia bands and I love doing that, but it's always like fun to venture out. So maybe like meet people through social media, or just going to other shows or events and meeting people like in person. So that definitely has benefited me a lot, and how I've gotten actually a few of my most recent gigs from like people ask me that I met outside of Columbia.
And I know in the beginning we were talking about how you're primarily in like the neo soul, pop, and funk communities, and so moving from New York to here, what has that been like? Do you find a lot of people who are also in that same community, or is it hard?
So for me personally, it's very hard. I feel like, just because this is just my personal, and maybe I need to get out there more, but at least from the resources I have as a Columbia student, I feel like a lot of the main venues are catered towards like rock. I
agree.
But it's true. And then like for me as like a black woman that sings like R&B, to like put it in general terms, it's very hard to want to reach out to these venues because some of my friends play here, and it's like I do something totally different. But I would say that's what I'm trying to do, is find that niche community now, because I know it's out there and I've seen it around, but I definitely think it's a smaller percentage compared to rock, which is also like, I kind of looked it up, but rock is like, I think the number one like genre in most popular genre in America. I
believe that.
So it makes sense, but it's still like, oh damn, that sucks. But I feel like there are people that are doing awesome stuff in my niche, so it makes it easier. But I will say generally less people that are doing it, which makes it harder to find either like shows where, I don't know, I always book shows where I feel like the genres are kind of like different, just because I feel like that works better for me. And I think it's cool when you can embrace different types of music in one night and have like people listen to different people with different backgrounds, different styles. I think it's cool. But I would say, to answer your question, it's a little struggle, but I know there's definitely a lot of innovators in the community. So.
And like you said, you're a black woman doing R&B in Chicago. It can be hard to book, but what are, I guess, some of the successes that you've found pursuing music right now?
I would say the successes are just cultivating. I mean, I would say the biggest success, this might be a little too like specific, but it'd be like this one venue I feel like really is, they're really cool, and the owners are amazing, would be Cole's Bar. I actually filmed a music video there and they let me do it for free. And I feel like that's like an example of like a success for me, just because they saw something in my music and allowed me to like play there for my video and just like play there. I played there like twice already, and I don't know, they've been really supportive. Do
you plan to do more videos or anything like that?
I actually do. This is like, I'm planning a meeting for this soon to be started, but I have another song coming out. It's called Mystery. It's a song I've played a billion times live, but like we recorded it, so it'll be released hopefully sometime like next year, early next year.
Yeah.
And I am planning to do a music video for that. That's my next.
Yeah, that's very
project.
exciting.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah. Was it weird, I guess, doing your first music video, or are you usually in front of the camera at all, or?
No, it was very weird, and it was a weird situation because I never really do that. It's like, I'm in front of the camera, like if someone's recording me live, but I'm not like paying it. Like you have to be like conscious of what you're doing, which is weird. And there was like weird acting involved attempts from me. Mm. So it was an interesting situation and definitely a lot of lessons learned.
Yeah. Any other, I guess, other than music videos, any other projects that you're working on in the future or that you would like to do down the line?
Yeah, the biggest project right now is like, I told you I've been recording a lot of stuff in the studio. My vision is to release like a full body of work based on what we've been like recording next year. So that's like a goal, and I really hope that we can travel and do some other shows outside of Chicago next summer. Yeah. That's also a big plan. Yeah. That's
very exciting. How's that been so far?
I'm not going to lie. We have just started this, but my friend Emma, who has been recording all of our songs and mixing our music. She's also an amazing artist herself. Aside from being an audio engineer, she is also kind of helping me guide me through managing these projects a bit. Mm-hmm. So I had a lot of homework to do last week that I got done. So I would say we're getting closer to it like coming to be a reality, but it's definitely going to be a lot of work with schedules and stuff.
That's really cool. Is there any projects out currently or any songs coming out soon that you want to shout out or talk about a little?
I want to shout out Love because that's the one I released. Mm-hmm. Most recently, it's been like 2 years since I've ever released anything, and I love this song. I'm proud of it. No pun intended, because I know it's called Love, and I said I love it. But this song is the one I also just filmed my first music video for, so you should definitely check it out on YouTube. And I love this song just because it's like, I feel like, I don't know, it just makes me happy to sing it. And I also dedicated the song in a video to my mom because I love her so much, and she's kind of had a really life-changing year with illness and stuff, and I don't know, she usually always motivates me, and I want to motivate her with like this song and this project, so I dedicate it to her, and I don't know, I'm just proud of the song.
Yeah, sounds really cool. That's it for this episode. Thank you, Kacie, for being on the Limelight podcast. Feel free to shout out your socials or wherever we can find you.
Yeah, you can follow me at iam.kacie at Instagram, and please follow my band's page, Kacie and the Vision on Instagram, KACIE and the Vision. And just listen to Love, please. Appreciate it. It's like on every streaming platform. I'm really proud of it.
Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you at the next one.